got it airborne. And it came down like a line down on the middle. No, I'm not an off-road guy. Drum brakes?
Whatever did the pass, it put the little keeper on
Yeah. I gotta get money to fix my old plastic. I know, 9 months dead now.
No, I appreciate it.
Federal agents leave cell phones unguarded now. Heavily encrypted. Makes a nice paperweight.
Guys, if I could just have everybody's attention for a moment, a couple things we're gonna request. One, the sheriff's obviously gonna be speaking. All questions directed to him need to be pertinent to this incident only. Any other questions related to something else, we will try to address afterwards. Also, camera angles, if we can keep them up here, as some people in the crowd are in an undercover capacity, we wanna make sure that they're not on camera.
And whereabouts are they, Ms. Officer?
Everybody's sitting in these seats.
Any,
So if they're not standing up there on stage looking at you, they're off limits. How about that?
Okay, we'll keep it on the podium.
Appreciate that.
thank you.
You bet.
Also, if we can make sure all cell phones are.
Somebody need a mic check? Mic check, 1, 2. Everybody good? Thumbs up on the right,
Sounds good to me.
thumbs up on the left.
You guys good?
We will, for the media, we will push this image out that you see up here on the board. Following the news conference, we'll push that out via email as well.
Thank you.
All right.
I mean, you record some room tone. You record like room tone. Just like the hum for 10 seconds before we start speaking.
And just make sure you block David, okay?
100%. Ready to go? All right. So good afternoon. I'm Sheriff Mike Williams, and I want to thank all of you for joining us here today as we announce the conclusion of an extensive investigation that we called Operation Endgame. Joining me today are from the FBI's Mark Hoffman, from NCIS Ryan Guaz, from our State Attorney's Office Adair Newman, and of course Sheriff Rob Hardwick from St. Johns County. This undercover operation extended over a 5-day span where officers worked proactively to target adults who were seeking out children for sexual activity in Jacksonville. Operation Endgame was initiated by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and was undertaken with the assistance of partnering law enforcement agencies, including many from the North Florida Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force that we call ICAC. In addition to our assigned JSO personnel, we are very grateful for assistance that we received from personnel from the Clay County Sheriff's Office, the Baker County Sheriff's Office, St. Johns County Sheriff's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, NCIS, the Wakulla County Sheriff's Office in the Panhandle, and of course our State Attorney's Office and our local U.S. Attorney's Office as well. So the operation began last summer, June 23rd, and concluded in the early morning hours of June 27th. The objective of the operation was to identify suspects who used electronic devices to solicit activity with minors. Once communication was established with offenders via our officers acting as proxy minors, meeting locations were established for various solicited sexual activities. When the suspects arrived at these prearranged locations to carry out their expected encounter with the minor, they were taken into custody by law enforcement officers. Those offenders were then interviewed by JSO Special Assault Unit detectives and our ICAC task force. So although most of these suspects live right here in Jacksonville, we had suspects establish communication from different regions of the country. Some as far north as Brunswick, Georgia, as far west as Kilgore, Texas, and as far south as Felda, Florida, which is in the Fort Myers area. And obviously they were here to meet with whom they believed to be minors for these sexual encounters. A total of 26 suspects were arrested. They were all male, as you see on the board to my left, and they range in age from 21 to 59 years old. All are charged with a combination of second and third degree felonies that are related to child solicitation and child pornography. So the third degree felony charge carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison for each count, and the second degree felony charge carries a maximum sentence of up to 15 years in prison for each count. So these guidelines call for potential sentences for up to 25 years in prison for each of these suspects. So obviously, as always, we look forward to the aggressive prosecution of these suspects by our partners at the State Attorney's Office, who I want to mention were also involved from the very beginning, the planning stages of Operation Endgame. So before I take any questions, I do want to close with this, and I think all of us up here agree with this. As law enforcement officers, there is no higher priority than safeguarding the children of our communities. And so the men and women of all these agencies represented up here are going to continue to do that with a relentless effort to remove child predators from our streets and keep our children safe. And so with that, we can answer a few questions, if there are any.
How prevalent is this become? It seems like it's an epidemic.
Yeah, I don't know that I wouldn't say it's become prevalent, but it is prevalent. I mean, we were just talking about this earlier. We do multiple operations like this every year. I know the sheriff talks about a recent operation that they did. There's no shortage of suspects in these cases, and so again, it's a challenge, but something that we obviously continue to focus on.
Is this a one-time per year operation, or is it ongoing?
So yeah, we don't. It is ongoing. So these type of operations we do in addition to. We obviously don't announce or broadcast a schedule of that, but it's an ongoing effort with sometimes more intense focus on the issue. So
Once again, what's your message to the predators here, those who aren't on this board here?
Yeah, I can say this. I think that you see a small representation of the parties that were involved in this operation, and they have to know that day in and day out, there's a dedicated group of professionals that are working hard to make sure that they don't victimize children in our communities. And I think, that's something, again, I know I speak for everybody here and all those that couldn't be here with us today. It's always a top priority for us, and we're going to continue to, obviously, to maintain focus on that. So, anything else? All right, great. Thank you.
You stick around for questions?
Thank you, ma'am. Sure. Yep.
Ryan, you don't have to go out that way. Yeah. Just dramatic.
No, I appreciate that.
I don't know if that's still on. That's not yours? Oh, I'm sorry. Touch it. I should have known. I know.